Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and people. Welcome to episode 4 of MNW In A Nutshell, which is episode 2 for Flashbang in a Nutshell. This is for the show dated Sunday, the 29th of August, 2021, Pacific Daylight Time. And I must say, ever since there's been rumours of this Nutshell series coming out, the promos are going absolutely crazy. Like in the audio promos and the in-ring promos, now events are being announced from everywhere. I can't keep track of them. Well, let's see how we go for this recap. On the 3rd of September 2021, here is your host of MNW In A Nutshell, MNW's resident statistician and bookkeeper from Melbourne, Australia, Carla Bader. Without further ado, let us go to our first event of Friday Night Flashbang on Sunday, the 29th of August, 2021. So first of all, we have an in-ring promo, and in this promo, Zephyr Tail, the sea pirate from Apex, comes to the ring to address the rumour of Nero's title being stripped. They say that everybody seems to know that this strip is going to happen, so yeah, here's Zephyr. He believes that Suicide Gemini is certainly up to something, and he says that he is adamant that Suicide Gemini of Hell's Kitchen will not ruin Nero Napier's return, that Nero Napier will come back and he will keep his title, and that it will be fought correctly. So he says for Suicide Gemini to come to that ring right now. But then, instead, why does Samuel Manatee come? Sammy is from Hell's Kitchen, but then he's the other member, he's the chef. He says that Suicide Gemini isn't here. For 2 weeks, he hasn't been in the building. And then he tells Zephyr that Suicide Gemini has been at the Bayou complex, which is, supposedly Nero Napier's home. However, no matter what truth Samuel Manatee seems to be telling, Zephyr Tail doesn't believe him. And that if Suicide Gemini isn't here, Zephyr Tail will simply have to deal with Samuel Manatee. But Zephyr says that he will send Crimson Phoenix to investigate the matter at the Bayou, whether there's anybody there or not. But for now, they set a precedent for the next match. Zephyr Tail is going to make an example out of Samuel Manatee in the next event. So we have our first match of the afternoon, because the show was in the afternoon this time, I think. But yeah, we have Samuel Manatee from Hell's Kitchen versus Zephyr Tail from Apex as previously announced. Zephyr Tail wins the match by pinning Samuel Manatee. So the statement is correct. He proved an example out of him, but I guess we'll see how things go in subsequent events, whether Samuel Manatee can get any revenge or whether this was just supposed to happen. And now for our next event, we have an audio promo by the Mandalorian Hutch Cale. In Hutch's promo, he responds to OmniGeek, supposedly from OmniGeek's promo last week. Hutch is annoyed by the OmniGeek's stubborn persistence, and he says that the hero types do not know when to stop until it is too late. But then Hutch also has more pressing matters than just the OmniGeek. He talks about Aurelian Starhand, who had attacked Kuso Kale the other week. He says not to attack Hutch Cale's wife with underhanded tactics ever again. All attackers, hired by Victor Vicious or not, are to go after madness if they want to go after the Mad World. Whatever the situation, Kuso Kale, his lovely wife, is off limits. Hutch Cale is going to end anybody who takes advantage of Kuso Kale and goes against the Mandalorian way. And so next up is our second in-ring promo from Apex member, the Crimson Phoenix. The Crimson Phoenix reveals that Blight Howless was at the Bayou compound, and so was Suicide Gemini. So Samuel Manatee was telling the truth. However, Samuel's notice didn't come soon enough. Apex is in some sort of dilemma. So Phoenix makes a proposal to Johan Mjoln that the Troll Train goes 3-on-3 against Apex for the belt. And this is going to become our main event of the show. So then we have an audio promo by one of our robots, the Cyber Controller. The Cyber Controller is saying, why would he help out Cool J Kyo? The Cyber Controller was intrigued by Cool J Kyo and wanted to scout him out up close, because remember that Cool J Kyo just recently got his first showcase win. It was not the Cyber Controller's fault that Demo took their eyes off the opponent. Will the Cyber Controller and Cool J Kyo be working together more often? They will have to watch and find out. As the host of Flashbang, Eric Jenerickson, said, "Thanks for nothing, Cyber Controller. I'm the bookkeeper and I still don't know anything." Okay, so then we have our second match of the afternoon, a tag team match, 2-on-2. So following the audio promo, so whenever I say mixed tag team, that means there is no exact name for this team and I don't know what to call them, so that's when you'll see that name. So with the tag team this time, we have the Cyber Controller and Cool J Kyo going up against AAA Animals against Apex, members Slamphibian and Sheepy, accompanied by fellow faction members El Pollo de la Muerte and Otoro Azul. So in this match, we have a win for AAA and a loss for the bot team. Slamphibian pinned Cool J Kyo. And then we have our third audio promo of the afternoon from Madness of the Mad World. He says, "Congratulations," or so to speak, to mercenary Aurelian Starhand for shooting himself in the foot. He made a very big mistake, and Madness hopes that Aurelian's mistake was worth all the trouble, which was, I think, when he attacked Kuso Kale backstage. That's the mistake. He says Aurelian Starhand has disrespected and dishonoured the Mandalorian way. Aurelian better not end up in the ring with Hutch or Kuso, or he is gonna be a piece of toast. So, yeah, Aurelian, I'm praying for you. I hope things turn out well, but yeah, I doubt it. So just stay away from any metal, alright? And then we have our third in-ring promo. We have Victor Vicious from the Cartel, responded to by the Madness again. Okay, let's see what's going on in this promo. So first of all, Victor Vicious says Madness and Kuso Kale had turned their backs on the Cartel. Victor Vicious responded by hiring Aurelian Starhand to take out Kuso Kale. Kuso was supposedly hired to take out Hutch. But who was she hired by? Don't know. And then Victor goes on to say that the Madness should not run his mouth about Hutch Kale. And then Madness enters the ring himself. And then Victor Vicious says that he is not around to play games and he is questioning the sanity of the Madness. Has Madness gone totally mad? Hence his name. The Cartel is going to come for the Mad World's title at the Super Show, which is on September the 12th. And I will say that during this show, we have the Super Show mentioned a lot of times, but more to come on that exact detail later. Back to the promo itself. Madness has known Kuso Kale for longer than we think. They joined the Cartel because Kuso wanted a match with Nitzig Gunk Gobbler. But then the job wasn't finished. So maybe Hutch Kale isn't the target, but if Hutch Kale is not the target of the attacks, then who is? I don't get it. Victor Vicious has made a match for later in the afternoon. It is going to be Aurelian Starhand versus Brawl Kaiser. And then at the Super Show on September the 12th, it is going to be the Cartel's Victor Vicious and Nitzig Gunk Gobbler versus a winning team for the titles. If they can get there. My notes were a bit scrambled in that one, so that's why there was a bit of tongue twisting at the end, but we will press on. And then we have our fourth audio promo for Flashbang coming from the OmniGeek. In this promo, the OmniGeek is apparently present because of the way the Cartel does things. The Cartel throws their weight around, they're calling out the hits, ganging up on people, which is just, not a good look for them, according to the OmniGeek. He will take down every member of the cartel if he has to. And then why did the Omnigeek goad Hutch Cale? He had to prevent Hutch hurting someone if Kuso didn't show up. The Omnigeek didn't really want to be involved in the Cales' affairs, and he shouldn't have gotten the win, he thinks. But he did, so he is basically calling out the cartel. And then we have our third singles match of the afternoon, a singles match between Shere Khan and the mercenary Jack the Questionable. Shere Khan hasn't been around for a while, so just like Jack Abbott of Warzone, he's made a recent return. He's had a few dealings with Kevin Blackwell, and Shere Khan used to be friends, or I guess faction mates, with Grant Martin as well as DeLuna 13. So in this match, Shere Khan has won against Jack the Questionable, but then that is not all. At the end of the match, Kevin Blackwell, who I said Shere Khan has had quite a few run-ins with, he came back. What does he want? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, as the events unfold. And then we have our fifth audio promo of the afternoon by Blight Howless of Apex. Blight Howless says that Artemis of the Omnislayers has his thanks. It is good to be back in the natural fur. He is aware that Artemis went behind Jagger Blackthorn's back in order to give the antidote, and so Blight will not interfere with him if he does not interfere with Apex, that is with Artemis. Despite the ongoing feud with Jagger Blackthorn, Blight says he will focus on Suicide Gemini for the time being, and he states Suicide Gemini will be the night's final meal. So watch out, Suicide, you've rubbed a lot of the wrestlers the wrong way. And then we have our fourth in-ring promo. So I guess this is kind of a response to Blight's promo. We have the lead Omnislayer, I would say, or just one of the Omnislayers, Jagger Blackthorn. And in this promo, Jagger has come to call out Artemis's previous gesture. He says that Artemis, as an Omnislayer, cannot have a bleeding heart and, I guess, be so compassionate without really thinking. He regrettably states that Artemis is to be punished for curing Blight Howless. It is not what Jagger Blackthorn wants, but he has to do it on behalf of the Omnislayers. He has no choice. He says that Blight Howless is a menace, as his name suggests, a blight to society. He says to Blight to enjoy hunting down Suicide Gemini because Jagger is going to come after him when he is done. That is, he'll come after Blight when he's done. And then Jagger is also aware of Kathjena. He says, don't you go smiling in the back. I see you. I've got something for you too. So I guess Kathjena will just have to wait and see. And then we have our sixth audio promo from Kathjena herself. Her and a male figure are talking about, I guess, different situations with the family, their children, other things. And then also about Flashbang. The male seems, I guess, concerningly angry about the Flashbang events on Kathjena's behalf. More to develop in subsequent weeks. And then too many slides. Let's go back. There we go. So the fourth match of the night is a four-way tornado tag team match. And this is one of the, I guess, matches that will allow the winning team to go into a match in the Super Show on September the 12th. And if I can recall the details correctly, they'll be facing the Cartel and the Mad World, or Cartel and the Mad World. The ultimate objective is to get Mad World's titles. But back to the match itself, we have Sandman and Thunderbolt of the Time Bandits, Huge Mane and Big Rock of the Forces of Nature, Lord V and the Cleaver of the Abyssal Void, who used to be faction members of the Empire of Terror before it was taken down in War Games. And then we also have DeLuna 13 and Grant Martin of the newly formed faction Honorbound. The winning team of this match is Forces of Nature, in which Huge Mane managed to tap out the big Void Boy, Lord V. So we will see the Forces of Nature and one other tag team from the next match at the Super Show. we now have an audio promo from the hottest man on Flashbang, Apollo Hades of Vaporwave. In Apollo Hades' promo, it is confirmed Vaporwave and VIP of Warzone are good allies. Apparently, everybody else enjoys being on the losing side of history. Though Apollo respects Mr. Lawson, so he is going to tell, I guess, the roster the truth of what happened last week. Wilson, son of Will, wasn't asked by anybody, including Vaporwaves themselves, to interfere in that match. Wilson was kind enough to do so with the goodness of his heart, I guess. It doesn't matter if Vaporwave gets drafted to Warzone or any other idle threat of the lawyer. They have a home on Warzone 2, and any show without the Vaporwave booked, that is Apollo and Aqua, averages a -2 view rate. Apollo says he would rather spend more time talking to people with class like Wilson, and none of the others know what the heck luxury is. Of course they don't. They're just peasants. Alright, next. Oh, come on. I thought we were done. The last one was... Alright, let's go. So we've got an audio promo here from Wilson, son of Will of Warzone. So he didn't give a promo on Warzone, but he came to Flashbang. I don't get it. Can you please pick a side? In this promo, Wilson, son of Will, claims that he is getting booed for helping out one of his friends. So basically a pity party. And then somebody throws a sandwich from the chairs. It is a bacon, lettuce, tomato BLT. Wilson's asking who the heck eats BLTs or sells BLTs these days. The Flashbang fans are complete idiots who wouldn't even know what taste is if it hits them in the mouth. They're absolute morons 3 times over. And then Wilson goes on to state that at the Super Show, VIP are going to take back the titles that were stolen from them. And then they will be, or at least Wilson will be drinking champagne in the back with his good Flashbang friend, Apollo. Wilson has to go. He's got to leave the ring before it's filled with too many of these bloody beer cans that the stupid people are throwing everywhere. So off you go, Wilson, son of Will. Good riddance, and we hope not to see you for a while. That's in character. Out of character, we, hope you enjoy yourself and, yeah. Next, we have our other tag team match of the night, our other 4-way tornado tag team. This time it is Vaporwaves, Apollo Hades, and Aqualung. We have Joseph Cowman and Fer Kim Wang from Fabulous. And then we have Zach DeWeaver and Showcase King Lesumeo 1 from The Guild, as well as Punk Master Ghost and the Bad CG Ghost from Spectre Sonata. Spectre Sonata wins the match. CG Ghost pins Zach DeWeaver, which means that Spectre Sonata will be the other team going to the Super Show on September the 12th, and they are going to be further involved in the tag team title picture. Next, we have an audio promo from Lionel Matrix. Matrix states that life is based on luck, and so why is Alexis Edmonton trying to make hers so short? Last week, Matrix was training with Henry Colt when, in a break, he managed to catch some of Alexis Edmonton's speech. He was pleased at first by her admittance of her mistake, but then things seemed to change. Insulting Matrix's opinion is actually insulting the prophet Lady Nausea, which Matrix cannot allow to happen. If Alexis Edmonton wants to test Matrix's faith, then they can settle this in the ring with or without partners. It's on, Alexis! You better get your backside here. Okay, are we going to the next slide here? Is this thing... Okay, there we go. We have another singles match, match number 6. It was a match promised from earlier in the night in the in-ring promo. We have the interdimensional champion, Brawl Kaiser, versus the mercenary Aurelian Starhand. Aurelian Starhand wins the match, pinning Brawl Kaiser. Better luck next time, good boy. We're still rooting for you, and we always will be. Stay strong, champ. You'll get there someday. And then we have our 5th in-ring promo from Doom's Night Reaper, Zericus. And he has come to call out Wilson, son of Will, for talking a lot, but not being very focused on the task at hand. It's like, it's all talk, but where's the proof? Apparently, Wilson, son of Will, complains about how Doom cheated VIP out of the trios belts, but then Wilson cheated Joseph Cowman out of the match last week. So it's only fair when Wilson, son of Will, writes the story, but otherwise, it's like, nah, no fair, tantrums, ah. In the past, Wilson was a number 1 contender, but then he lost to Ginger Boy, so he never won the title then. And he was only Big Oof champion on Warzone for a month, no more than that. And then I guess now he is the Trios champions. How about Wilson, son of Will, gets a legitimate championship win instead of always relying on, I guess, others to do it or, making excuses, this, that. If VIP wins against Doom at the Super Show, then Wilson will truly be a champion, no questions asked. But if VIP loses, this proves that nothing can be done without Wilson's games and manipulation. And in the end of all things, Wilson is just a scared little boy. And so I think we have Zericus playing psychological warfare here. We'll see how that pans out in, 1.5 weeks' time at the Super Show on September the 12th. And then we have our final match for the afternoon, our main event. We got the Troll Train, who had some very cute, groovy music there. I hope we hear that theme again. We have Johan Mjoln and his wife Tagiri, as well as their faction mate Tiki the Troll, facing off against Apex's Primal Heat, as well as the returning wife of Nero Napier, Mizuki Napier. Johan Mjoln wins the match for Troll Train with a pin on the Crimson Phoenix. And so this match was supposedly for Nero's belt, and I guess the rumour is that because the Troll Train wins the match, the belt is stripped off Nero and Johan wins that belt. Also, we think, the match finishes and then we hear that song, I'm back and better than ever. And we think we're going to see the face of Mr. Lawson, but then that doesn't happen. What happens instead? The lights go out, some spooky shit ends up happening, and then when the lights come back on, there's Nero Napier in the ring with Johan Mjoln and Tiki the Troll. The reason I call this a backstage segment, I mark it backstage if it's not a match or a promo. So backstage segments can happen in the corridor or in the ring. This one is in the ring. After the match, Nero Napier, Johan and Tiki are seen in the ring. According to my notes here, Nero has returned to jump the Troll Train and ambush them. So Nero has actually made his return. He fulfilled his promise despite Suicide trying to stop him and anybody else. He is back, folks. Nero Napier makes good use of the chair in the ring to both Johan and Tiki, and then subsequently applies a baseball bat to them both. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, I wouldn't want to be there. And so Nero Napier then leaves the ring. So as we said before, he is not going to be stripped of the title this week. We will have to wait till the Super Show to find out. And that is the end of the event sequence for Flashbang on the 29th of August 2021, PDT. And now just some final bookkeeper statistician figures. The show length for that show is 2 hours, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. We did end up having a 20-minute commercial break before the main event, so that was taken away to result in this final time. And then we have our segment summary. We had 7 matches, 14 promos and 1 backstage encounter, which was in the ring. So that makes for a total of 22 events. If we take away the 9 audio promos, that is a final tally of 13 produced events. If you are interested in catching MNW Flashbang, you can do so every Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. PST PDT. This is the usual time set by the host, but I guess if things changed, you will be notified if you are a part of the MNW Discord, but otherwise just please stand by. You can always find MNW Flashbang on twitch.tv/Edward Bosco. And before we finish up this episode of Flashbang in a Nutshell, I would just like to remind you that we have a super show coming up on Sunday, the 12th of September 2021, Pacific Daylight Time, on the same channel, twitch.tv/Edward Bosco. We do not know the time for the show yet. It's, I guess, not even a week before the show, so it'll be made, I guess, close before the show happens. Once again, if you are in the MNW Discord, you should be notified. I do have questions myself about this super show. Is it a pay-per-view in itself? Is it separate from a pay-per-view? Because I know so far we have had 6 pay-per-views. And they're always called Breakdown. So is this Breakdown 7, or is this the Super Show and Breakdown 7 is going to be another time? I guess I'd like some clarification for all of us audience members if that is possible. But otherwise, this brings us to the end of MNW Flashbang in a Nutshell. I have been your host, Carla Bader, and until next time, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. It was lovely talking to you, and thank you.